Good afternoon, my students. Welcome aboard the online teaching experience with Dhofar University. This lecture that we are going to see is going to focus on the basic features of Excel, and we are going to try to do some formatting features of Excel, and also we are going to understand how to make some simple calculations using Excel. So I have tried to upload this material which already has been uploaded as a full part. So I am going to cover not the full activity in this lecture, as you know that this chapter 3 of this particular course will be covered for 5 weeks. That was the original plan in a normal traditional teaching. But since we are going for online, we will try to provide you an interactive lecture with you, but in addition to that we will also upload the videos which will explain you the steps for better understanding. So let's try to understand how this lecture is planned. So if you look at this lecture which I am going to teach you today is actually from page number 7 and 8. I am just highlighting it so that you can note it down. From page number 7 and 8 of the course material will be covered today. So when you are going to complete this video, viewing this video, you will be able to do these following things. Number one, you will be knowing these basic definitions in Excel, means what is a cell, cell address, workbook, worksheets, how to add, delete and rename the sheets. Then we are going to discuss a little bit about how to practically enter the data and what are some of the formatting features of Excel, like adding the borders, changing the orientation, wrap text picture, merge and center, and formatting the cells to different formats including currency. And we are also trying to do some calculations using formulas, and we are also going to do some calculations like sum, average, minimum and count. So this is the plan that we are going to achieve by the end of this particular online lecture. To start with, since this is the first class with Excel, many of you may be wondering how to start Excel. So it is very simple. Just click on the start button here and you can just type Excel, E-X-C-E-L, Excel. When you type Excel, you will see it in the top, Excel. Just click on Excel. Now you will see that Excel is going to be open for you. The first one that will be coming is this screen, in which now for the time moment you will choose the blank workbook. So when you open the blank workbook, this is the introductory screen of an Excel workbook. It's called a workbook, a file. You see, normally in Word we call it as document, but in Excel we call it as workbook. And each workbook, you know very well, any book has got many pages or sheets. Similarly, Excel has one sheet here now, but if you want to add a new sheet, you have to press this plus button. You will add a new sheet now, sheet number 2. Then you want to add another sheet. This is sheet 3. So you want to add another sheet, you can add, that is sheet 4. So now I think you understand the concept of the file in Excel. It is called as workbook, and the workbook has many sheets, and the sheets can be added as many as you want. By default there is only one sheet, but if you want you can add any number of sheets. So now in this workbook we have 4 worksheets. Now you can see that I don't need the sheet. What I can do is that I can right click on the sheet. And I can use the option delete. So the sheet is now deleted. Now I'm going to repeat the same thing over here. I can just delete the sheet, and I can do the same thing again, which is like deleting the sheet. Now just I have only one sheet. So basically you have learned how to add a sheet, how to delete a sheet. Now I want to rename the sheet as with a name which I like to have. So same step you are going to do, right click and just choose rename and then try to just type du. For example, Dhofar University, I just type du or home center, because in this one I am going to take home center as an example in our data entering. So I just type home center. So basically now you know that a file is called a workbook and it is composed of many worksheets. You can add any number of worksheets by pressing this plus button, new sheet. You can delete any sheet just by clicking on the sheet and clicking on delete, and also you can rename a sheet by choosing rename. So these are the things that you have to basically know about this one. Now let's talk a little bit about the work environment of Excel. The work environment of the Excel is going to actually explain to you in short about how this particular data and the things have to be entered. See here, it starts with A, B, C, D and it goes until many more columns. Now when you look at this D, you can click on the D. This is the column. This is called a column, and you can see here it starts with 1 and it goes endlessly. It has a limit, but now let us assume it's endless. Now it's 1, 2, 4. Okay, can you see here? This is the fourth row. This is called a row and this is called a column. This is a column and this is a row. So basically you have to understand two things. What is a column? A column starts with A and it continues like this. Each of these cells. What is a cell? Now I did not tell you about the cell. See, this rectangle which you see now is called a cell. The rectangle which is very dark in its boundary, it's called an active cell. Now if you look at the cell F, and this is in the second row, so the cell address is called F2. Now let me change the pointer here. Can you see it now here? It becomes A and this is 1. So the active cell is A1. This is the most basic thing that you have to understand about Excel. In Excel, each rectangles, or as you call sometimes box, which I always say to you, don't use this word box. It is actually called a cell. A cell is a rectangle in Excel and each rectangle has an address which is nothing but an intersection of the column and the row. So whenever you have this, if you are going to keep in this particular point, this is the intersection of the column C and the row 1, and you can see that it is C1. The cell address is C1. I hope it's clear for you until now. Now let's go to the next point. The next point is about the cell address is clear for you now. A, B, C, D like this. Now if you are going to place it here, for example, now it's called M13. Why it's M13? Because it's M column and the row is 13. So it's called M13. So my friends, in this up to this part, what we have seen is this. Number one, I know that you know what's a workbook. The file of an Excel is called a workbook, and a workbook has multiple sheets and it can be added by just pressing the plus button which is located over here, and this is actually called a new sheet. You can add any number of new sheets into it. Similarly, you can see that you can delete a sheet if you want and you can rename a sheet you want. The other things are also there. Insert, you can also do it by adding. You can also add by doing it from here, but that is very easy to just use the plus. And each of this rectangle is called a cell. Not, it is called cell. C-E-L-L. What is a cell? Cell in English means a small rectangle. This is called a cell, and this cell has a cell address. The cell address is determined by the location in which the column in which it is located and the row in which it is located. This is F8. Why F8? Because it is located in the column F and it is located in the column 8. So this is called F8. So now I hope you are clear for you. The most important thing why I am stressing this point again and again about the cell address is that most of the calculations or all the calculation in Excel is going to be based on only this cell address and not on the numbers that you are going to enter. So this is the first basic thing that you have to understand. Now let us try to summarize what you have learned. Now students, I think you know what is a cell. I think you know what is a cell address. I believe now you can also tell me what is a workbook, and I also think that you know what's a worksheet, and you know how to do add, delete and rename the sheets. So now we have got the first basic definitions of Excel. So this is the first thing that I wanted to teach you now. Now I am going to do the next part, which is called data handling. Here I am going to enter the data, but I am not going to waste my time here, because since it's an online class I will make it very quick. So I am just going to copy the information which is available in the page number 7, as I told you before. This is actually page number 7, activity 1 in the course material which has been provided to you in the Moodle. So now you see that this is the information which I want to actually transfer into Excel, or which I want to type. In a normal classroom setting I will ask you to type, but since it's an online class I am going to copy it. Can you see now here? I click on this one, right click, I'm just going to use copy, and you know already I have opened Excel book 1 or book 2, whichever the thing which is open. I'm just going to place my information here in this cell, right click, and I'm going to give paste. So let me paste it. Now you see that the information is pasted here. So this is the information that is pasted. But what do you observe here? You observe that certain cells are not arranged in a good way as I wanted it. Now for example, if you look at the title of this one, Home Center. The Home Center is not clearly visible. So you can actually make it big by just placing your mouse pointer in between E and F columns and then just dragging it to the right so that it becomes bigger. It can just accommodate as much as it can. And now you also can see that maximum. This is better to make it in one line. So what I am going to do is that I am just going to make it like this, maximum and minimum. So now do you see that it looks better and perfect? What do you feel? Now this is perfect. But since I copied, you have all the formats coming along with it. But normally you will see that it will be like this without anything. But since I just copied the table which was available, so when you are going to type in a literal sense, it's going to be like this. Even this is not going to be like this. I will explain this point to you later. Now you can see it is like this. Now we want to make it in a very proper format. Now what I want to do is that I want to add a border. How to add a border? Select the information for which you want to apply the border. Once you select all the cells where you want to apply the border, you see it is in the home ribbon. It's in the home ribbon. You have an option here which is called border. Open the border and just try to choose all borders. Try to choose this all borders. Now you see the difference. You have a line drawn to show the borders, so it looks like a table now. So I think now you know how to put a border. And there is another issue. Okay, like for example, let us assume like this. This is automatically now moving to the next line. So in order to move it to the next line, always you have to understand that the wrap text should be active. If the wrap text is not active, if the line is longer than the size of the cell, it will look like this and you cannot read. So in order to make it to come to the next line without increasing the size of the cell, you have to use wrap text. On the other hand, if you want to increase the cell and make it into one line, this is also possible. But in some situation, you cannot actually expand the cells because of the data that you have. So what you have to do is that in this case, if you are going to use this one, you want the same information to be available in one cell, but it should be automatically moving on to the next line. For this, you have to actually activate or click on this toggle wrap text. If you are going to switch it off, then the wrap text will not be on, and you can see that the information will go out of it. This is one important thing that you have to know. And again, you can see this is one cell home, this is another cell center, because B, this is C, this is D, this is E. But in actuality, I want only this row. I want all these 5 cells to be merged into one cell. So again, in the same home ribbon, I will use this option, which is called merge and center. I will use this option, which is called merge and center. So when you click on merge and center, you will not see the division between the cell. Can you see now? It's only A. There is no division only in the first row, because all the 5 cells have have been merged into one cell. So I hope it's clear now. So now what I have taught you is that the data is typed, then you know how to put the border, and you know how to do what is the point of having a wrap text, and also you know what is merge and center. There is another thing I wanted to teach you, which is actually nothing but orientation. You know what is orientation? Orientation means direction. So I want to change the direction of the second row. So what I will do is that I will open this particular option, which is available in the orientation option, which is available in the home ribbon. Then I am just going to choose this one. Can you see now? All the text which was actually appearing before horizontally have become vertical, because I changed the direction of the text. But you don't see the full text, so you have to make your cell bigger. If you make the cell bigger, you can actually see that it is made in this format. Again, I repeat to you, my friends, from the beginning. First thing, I teach you how to apply border. How to apply border? Select all the cells, then go to this border, and you have to choose all border. So the border will be applied. And the next one I taught you is about wrap text. What is the purpose of having the wrap text? When you have an information in a cell which is bigger than the size of the cell, you can make the information go to the next line automatically by activating or clicking on the wrap text. Then I explained to you about the merge and center with the example of the home center in the first row. I wanted to make all these 5 cells to become one. So I select all the 5 cells, and then I just choose merge and center. You can see that the division between the cells becomes 1, and so it becomes only one cell. This is called merge and center. The next one is actually changing the direction of the text. Now if you can see here, I am actually having an option here. You can see this is orientation. I open this one and I change the text direction. Now this text up, it's vertical. I can choose this one. Now you see it has come as usual. Now if I want to change it again, I am just changing the text up. Now it changes to this one. If you don't find the information fully clear, then you have to make the cells a little bit bigger in order to make it easy for you to understand. So I think to understand and see it very clearly. Now we have actually entered the data, and the next thing is that when you are talking about expenses, when you are talking about sales, all these are in what terms? You know, it's all in terms of money. These are all dealing with money. The currency of Oman is Omani Riyal. So I want everything that is given over here to be in Omani Riyal. Now if you click at this one, the format is what? General format. It's a number. It's not specifying a currency format. But now I want to change all these numbers here as a format of Omani Riyal. So how to do it? I only selected the numbers. Wherever I am going to have the numbers, I have selected these numbers, and now I am going to choose this one. Can you see this is dollar? You know the dollar sign. Now you see other currencies, euro, Chinese, French and pound. But I will choose more accounting formats here. When you click on the more accounting formats, you can see that first you have to highlight. That's the first thing. Then you go here. Then you see the account. You will see the currency formats. More currency formats. You will choose currency. You will choose the currency. And in the currency, what is the short form for Omani Riyal? O. Type OMR. See OMR. OMR means what? Omani Riyal. When you type O, you will get one OMR. See, there is no country in the world which starts with O except Oman. There is only one country in the world which starts with the English alphabet O. So O, if you type O over here, I will repeat again. If I am just going to type here, just I am going to type O, only OMR will be available. So OMR. And what is how many paisas make one Omani Riyal? 1000. So since it is 1000, you should have 3 decimal places. And I give OK. Now you see that the currency format is changed to OMR. But then what's the problem here? The problem is here because of lack of space. So just extend it a little bit. Now you will see the data. So now all the currencies are converted into Riyal Omani format. See, if you go to any supermarket, they put RO, Riyal Omani, or they put Ra Ain, Riyal Omani, which is not the correct notion to be used for Omani Riyal. The correct official notation that has to be used for Omani Riyal is OMR, and you should have always 3 decimal places since it has 1000 paisas and 1000 paisas make 1 Riyal. So this is what you have to understand about Omani Riyal. So my friends, I think it's clear up to this point. Let us try to see the summary, what we have seen until now, because I want to make sure what we are doing is clear for you or not. Now I think you know how to enter the data, you know how to add borders, you know how to do or change the orientation or direction, you know how to use wrap text feature, you know how to do merge center, and you also know how to format the cell into currency. I think we have covered all these points in a very clear way. Now the third part will be about calculations. This we will try to do it in another video, because I don't want to put a very long video and the span of attention of the students is very less, and I know you may lose your interest and you don't watch the video fully. But before winding off this particular video, let me explain the last step that has to be done. Now the saving the file. File has to be saved. File, save as. See where you want to save the file. If you are not seeing desktop, just look at this PC, and then if the desktop is here, this PC, in this PC, I want to save this PC. If you click this PC, you will see this type of dialog box coming. I want to save this file in desktop. And what is the name of the file I want to give? File name, please my friends, do not give any name like XYZ, XXX, YYY, ZZZ, and then you do not know where is your file. Please give a file like a file name which is appropriate, like exercise 1, exercise 1, because this is exercise 1, page number 7 and 8, which I am trying to solve with you. And then save the file. It is already there, so already there is a file existing there, so with the same name. So I am just giving here exercise 1N, just to avoid overwriting. Now you can see that the file is saved. Let us now look into the file, whether the file is really saved or not in the desktop. See, now you can see the file here, exercise 1N. This is the file which I have saved. So it is located in this particular point. My friends, please practice the question in page number 7 and 8. If you can see now, if you can go to the activity which I just now did, Okay, it's talking about calculate profit and all these things may not be known to you, but you can easily answer question number 10, question number 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15 are clear. In our next video I am going to explain to you about, now we also did this one, like how to enter the data. The 4 to 9 I will explain to you in my next video, which you can watch a little time later, because we don't want to dump a lot of information to you at the same time. The most important thing for you to succeed is to practice. And MS Excel is a very common software. It is available in all the computers, anywhere you go, and you can easily get it. If you don't have MS Excel in your computer, please go to any computer shop and you will not have any difficulty in getting it installed. The version that we are using in our university is Word and Excel, or even PowerPoint. We are using 2016, Office 2016 we are using. This is for your information, just in case you want to install it in your computer. Thank you my friends, and thank you for listening to my lecture. See you in the new lecture after some time. Thank you.